I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be a polished video. This is me incredibly angry, and I just need to talk about it. So I'm in Southern California, and I see this devastation. These are areas that I grew up in, so I know it very well. The destruction is beyond anything I've ever seen before, and literally every time I watch the TV, I am in tears over all of this destruction. I don't even know how else to describe it. And perhaps it's because I'm in this emotional state that I have no patience for the nonsense that Meghan is spewing out. And I realize that these statements are being released that are from Harry and Meghan, but we know who's the driving force behind them. So I'm going to talk about this other article that was released. And you guys are going to see a raw and unfiltered version of me now. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. I literally can't with this woman who I think is a malignant narcissist because she behaves exactly like my stepmom, who is a malignant narcissist. Meghan manages to shock me every single time, and this is no exception. Earlier today, I talked about this article titled Prince Harry and Meghan Markle release rare statement as wildfires rage across California and people have nothing. The statement was full of platitudes. It was just a nothing burger. Nothing of value was said. No guidance was given. No leadership was demonstrated. Just another meaningless word salad that is meant to try to elevate, in quotation marks, her image. But to anyone that's really paying attention, we see right through it. I think it's important to note that the statement that was released here was all about telling other people what they should be doing to help everybody and not giving any meaningful advice or mentioning any way that they are contributing to helping this tragedy. So in order to combat that criticism, in my opinion, this article was put out by People, and we know People is the carrier of the messages from the Harkles, allegedly. The article is titled, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry open their Montecito home to friends forced to evacuate amid the LA fires. People can confirm that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex opened their home to friends and loved ones forced to evacuate. Meghan and Harry are supporting the Southern California community amid rapidly spreading wildfires ravaging LA. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are offering their support and aid to those impacted by the LA wildfires that erupted beginning Tuesday, January 7. Over 100,000 Los Angeles residents have been forced to evacuate following the Palisades and Eaton fires, with multiple smaller fires raging. People can confirm that the couple have opened their home to friends and loved ones forced to evacuate. The couple live about 90 miles north of the LA area. Meghan, who is originally from LA, Prince Harry, and their children reside in Montecito, a Santa Barbara enclave that has not been evacuated. Just a reminder that this is an article about Harry and Meghan helping their friends. Their friends. Isn't that what friends do? Why does this need to become an article? Oh my God, you guys, I'm so mad. I'm so mad about it. Anyways, let's continue. In addition to assisting their loved ones, they are also working with their Archwell Foundation to determine the most impactful ways to support the community during this crisis. The foundation is also looking for volunteer opportunities to assist with mental health recovery for those needing immediate help and will facilitate long-term recovery efforts. I see multiple ways that this, in quotation marks, help they're doing to be impactful, in quotation marks again, positively benefit them. Do you guys see it too? Allegedly, and in my opinion. So these are people that don't do anything unless there is something in return. And I'll go into this more when I start analyzing the behavior, but all is laid out for us to see. So let's analyze and come up with some commentary. When narcissists perform an act of kindness, it's important to separate the act itself from the motivation. In the case of Harry and Meghan, Offering their home to those impacted by the LA fires, it is, on the surface, an act of compassion and generosity. However, if we evaluate this through the lens of narcissism, the interpretation hinges on the intent behind the action and how it aligns with typical narcissistic traits. Narcissists are capable of performing acts of kindness, but these actions are usually motivated by the following. The first is self-image and reputation management. Narcissists often seek validation and admiration. Acts of kindness can be a means of reinforcing a positive public image, earning praise, and maintaining a reputation for being generous or empathetic. Control or leverage. Some narcissists use their acts of kindness to establish control or create a sense of indebtedness in others. This can lead to the recipient feeling obligated or beholden to them in the future. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to guess that there will be a lot of this going on for any of those people that accept that invitation to Meghan's home. Allegedly, and in my opinion, I'm going to give an example of this. My ex-husband used to do my laundry. And I didn't want him to do my laundry, but he felt good about it. And I didn't want to take away from something he felt good about doing. Well, I was completely wrong about his intention, because when there was an argument one time, or even it was a slight disagreement, he turned into, "Will I even do your laundry for you?" And my immediate response is, "Stop doing my laundry. I don't want you to do my laundry, especially if you are going to throw it in my face." And then it turns into, "Well, you're a child throwing a tantrum," and I wasn't. The fact of the matter is, I don't like people doing things for me and then holding it over my head. Him doing my laundry, which I had initially interpreted was out of kindness, was actually so that he could throw it in my face later. And let's be real, laundry's not that difficult to do. I would much rather do my laundry myself than have anybody ever hold that over my head. Okay, moving on. In addition to control or leverage, there's a strategy to the narcissist's game. They may offer help with an expectation of receiving something in return, whether it's loyalty, future favors, or heightened social status. And this is another one that, ding, 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 I think is on the short list of the reason that Meghan may be doing this. And finally, there's a projection of superiority. Generosity serves as a way to reinforce Meghan's perceived superiority, presenting herself as the ultimate savior or benefactor in a crisis. And if you read between the lines between these two articles that were released today, in the first one, she is trying to demonstrate her superiority by telling everyone else what they need to do to help people. And when that had backlash, then she had to let it be known that she is following the own advice that she told all of us to do. A narcissist, when they provide aid or support, might later remind you of their generosity, often in situations where they want something in return. They may use it as a gesture or guilt to manipulate you, and they will expect admiration or compliance, framing their action as a reason why you owe them loyalty or gratitude. And this has been my life, and I know there's many of you that have felt this also and may be feeling it right now. And I'm there with you, and I'm thinking of you, and I wish you all the strength. Talking about this dynamic of holding something over someone's head felt like a gut punch for me, so I want to explore that a little more. This type of behavior can occur in any type of relationship, professional, or friendship, or familial, but I'm going to approach it from a romantic relationship standpoint. I'll talk about the psychological impact of holding things over someone's head and how the other person may respond by just wanting to do things by themselves and not asking for help anymore. And finally, I'll talk about a couple of tips and tricks about how to navigate this in a romantic context. Okay, so let's talk about the impact. It results in erosion of trust. Constant reminders of failures or past sacrifices erode the trust in the relationship as the individual feels their partner's actions are not truly selfless. There's a loss of autonomy. Being reminded of what someone has done for them makes the person feel controlled, indebted, or dependent, leading to a diminished sense of agency. It can lead to guilt or shame. The recipient may feel guilt or shame for being indebted even if they didn't ask for the favor in the first place. This creates an imbalance of power. And finally, there's emotional exhaustion. Being subjected to this dynamic is draining. It creates a sense of always having to repay the debt in some way. When I was in this situation, and I'm thinking specifically of my marriage, I decided I just wanted to do everything by myself. And I wonder why this was. Why did I prioritize doing these things on my own? And the first reason is to regain autonomy. By doing things independently, I was able to reclaim this sense of freedom and control, no longer feeling obligated that I had to repay someone because they were folding my laundry. I was avoiding manipulation. I wanted to escape this cycle of favors being weaponized against me. Independence allowed me to avoid feeling indebted constantly. There was also an element of trying to preserve my self-respect. Accomplishing things on my own terms restored my sense of self-worth, especially after feeling diminished by my ex-husband's controlling behavior. And perhaps during this point in my relationship, I was in the devaluing stage. And I say that because when he would do my laundry and hold it over my head, there was almost this element of, well, you can't do it on your own. Which how hard is it to fold underwear? You guys, and oh my gosh, I really don't know how I lived that life. I really don't know. It makes me sick to my stomach to remember those days. And then when I started doing things on my own, it was almost like creating these emotional boundaries. Choosing to rely on myself helped me establish boundaries because it protected me from further emotional manipulation or guilt trips. And perhaps it was for this reason that he didn't like it, and his response to me saying, well, I'll do it on my own, was, well, you're so childish. I didn't say that because I don't want to do your laundry. I'm just telling you that I do your laundry. Oh my gosh. And that kind of sounds like gaslighting, doesn't it? So how does this affect a relationship? It creates emotional distance. The individual may pull away emotionally as they no longer feel safe or valued in the relationship. Resentment builds. The constant reminders and guilt tripping often lead to resentment, which can erode the connection between the partners. This could all lead to a shift in priorities because they may focus more on their personal growth and independence, which could further strain the relationship. I was going to go into some tips and tricks, but after really thinking it over, I don't feel comfortable doing that because I'm not a trained therapist, so I'm not going to go there. But what I am going to do is summarize everything that was just said here. So in essence, people who prioritize independence in these situations are protecting themselves from emotional manipulation and seeking to rebuild their sense of autonomy and self-worth. This is often a necessary step in reclaiming balance in their lives, whether the relationship improves or ends. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. I'm wondering if you have experience in this. If you feel comfortable, please go ahead and share those in the comments. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your support so much. You guys are truly the best. And yeah, I can't wait till I have another live stream with all of you. With all that said, I want to thank you for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.